Right.
Yeah. So you find that 80% of the people participating now are what you call true, real Kenyans. And that's the pride of anybody like me who is an event director, to see my fellow Kenyans that. And to just say that also the only person who owns a proper rally school Eastern Central Africa, which literally means I go out of my way and sponsor fellow Kenyans. This rally, I have 5 of them using my vehicles in my school. Students from my school who are there. We have other people like Abdul Sidi with his training of car drivers, and we have various other people coming up and sponsoring local people. We have a lot of...
But is this kind of, when we hear about Sebastian Loeb and all these sort of international superstars, is this the kind of rally that they would wish to enter?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, Michelle Morton, you know, the lady, the still lady they used to call her learning, and who gave men a run for their pants, and nearly just missed by one stage to become a world championship in Ivory Coast when her car packed up at the last stage. She is now in charge of rallying at FIA. In her gospel to preaching to rally drivers, she believes and she knows, and she has told them that you're never a champion unless you do a safari. And funny enough, the Loebs and the Sobag you talk about have voiced their interest in coming back to this country because they believe that this is the only one. To tell you the truth, in this year's safari rally, we have the longest stage that has ever occurred since 2002, 84-kilometer stage of, to tell you the truth, sheer adrenaline. And for you to be able to manage that, you must have a lot of skills, because it is not speed. There is endurance, there is sustainability, there is common sense on the road. Otherwise, you just drive like a blind man, you will not even get half of it through.
I saw an advertisement on television saying that one of the things to be looked forward is the sprint stage. There'll be one, I believe, on Friday, and there's another one somewhere else. Now, if I've never been there before, you've said 84-kilometer stretch, you're zooming at fast speed, adrenaline, and what about the sprint stages? Yeah,
the sprint stages means that you have 2 cars leaving at the same time to arrive at a certain destination the shortest time. And you have these cars flying over, one on top of other one through a bridge, another one under the bridge. We have these cars doing what we call jumps, and if you land wrongly, actually the sprint stage at Jamhuri Park recorded the longest WRC all rally jump ever. But you can imagine what happened by the time the car added to win that accolade. It was in pieces.
Right. So you're trying to suggest, again, I'm going this, the people sort of running high and being very sort of young at heart. People die in these things.
No, to tell you the truth, the last time in Kenya we had a fatality in a rally was over 10 or 15 years ago. The safety of the rally cars is paramount. It's actually why yesterday and today what people call scrutineers are doing nothing else. They are going through the car with a tooth comb to check whether all the safety requirements, including the roll cage, the clothing that you have, your gearbox, whether you, to say the truth, you know, people think that you just get in a rally car and just zoom off the way the young men zoom in the streets.
Right.
We restrict the speed of the rally cars to a certain speed. There's a speed you cannot rally, you cannot do. Immediately you finish at what we call a competitive stage, from one section to another with a controller. If you are found over speeding between the tarmac stages and the stages that are not there, you are disqualified or you're fined. So there are people there with a speed gun to check that you do not speed where you are not supposed to speed. So people just think that it's pressing that.
Maybe the drivers didn't die, but they killed other people.
Rally drivers. So
there have been accidents on the road. Again, this is just to be taken for granted, part of the enjoyment, part of the thrills and spills?
No. Actually, the other thing is that we have marshals, over 200 of them, both local and trained marshals. to man all the stages, tape them and put billboards and do civic education and tell the people rally driving is dangerous. And it can only be dangerous for you if you're too near where the rally car is. So there are positions you are supposed not to be at, let's say for what we call a tight corner, what we call a left-hand corner, those kind of places you are not supposed to be in.
Right. I read a news item recently, well, maybe you would have said that the safety measures have been increased. So what's happening this year that's never happened before? Okay, you've told me, please avoid the corner because the car could slip off and kill you. What else are you doing for me?
What we've done is because we have
I'm trying to suggest
we have set up.
You should restrict people.
Yeah.
In other words, don't do this, otherwise you'll
We
be
have
in trouble.
we have a safety commission that has come up with the rules and regulations. We are encouraging what we call park and walk. So we have designated places before you get to a stage where you can park your vehicle, and designated spectator stage where you can go and watch the cars for a long distance. So you are not supposed to be on the stage at any one time. We have the police, we have engaged with them, and most of the people normally do that when they are drunk and disorderly. We have alcohol bros all over the place. The Commissioner of Police and the Ministry of Sports, the new minister, they have given us enough personnel because we have really scored. One of the reasons why we lost the WRC is because of safety. Because we don't have what we call crossroad per se, but we are able to get those uncrossed roads manned properly with enough personnel to make them safer for everybody. But this time, any person caught drunk and driving, whether in between the rallies or after the rallies, the law will take its action. That is the gospel we have sent. That is the message we have said to the FIA people, and they are here to check whether we are able to do it. That's why we are even appealing to our young men. Please, this is time to enjoy yourself. Do not drink and drive because there are consequences on it, both for yourself going to court and both us losing the WRC again.
Right,
Yeah.
you've mentioned it on at least two occasions there. You said WRC meaning World Rally Championships.
Yes.
Kenya at one point was a member of this wonderful event, and that brought us a lot of exposure on the world stage. Channels, dedicated rallying channels. Kenya is the place to go. Kenya is the country of wonderful scenery. We've lost it. And you're saying we either get it right this time or we might still continue to lose it.
It's true.
But that also begs the question, what do you have to get right? Why did we lose it in the first place?
First of all, we lost it because a few of us had the personal interests of starting their own little Kamukunji rallies around, pegged on the fame of the safari. And we have a chance when the president of FIA, Jean Todt, visited the former President Kibaki, and he promised that if we do our bit, which is safety, corporate sponsorship, government involvement, and we have the right country, the right ingredients, the right roads, the right interest from all over the drivers in the world to get this thing back. And we were told we will get what we call a candidacy rally, a pre-candidacy and a candidacy rally before we get a full rally. And this is one of the things we need to get right. That now we have the government interest. Schedule 7 of the manifesto of the Jubilee government says they will help the Kenya Motorsports Federation to get back the WRC. We have the minister who is really interested in it. We have a new PS who is really interested in getting us. We have the public baying for it. We have the media, like Keys and Star, putting up these things every now and then. Okay, we haven't got everybody on board, unfortunately, but this is our heritage. This is for everybody's game. It's not Ben Muchemi, it's not the motorsports, it's not
right.
Kumu. It is for us to do it right, to get it back.
Right. A very last response in saying, once we get it back, what are the benefits?
For example,
so as to make it such a thing that we should really try hard.
For example, everybody thinks about money. Everybody's singing, we want money, we want Hakia to money. Publicity alone brings in $200 million from FIA. You can imagine kids being given that budget to run for just making sure you do, instead of bringing Eurosport. Brad Kenya, the money we're using in Brad Kenya, look at the rugby what it's doing for us. WLC rally, the normal safari will bring triple what the rugby young stars are doing, because this is something that is worldwide. It's not, nobody goes to the street and asks what is rugby. Some people will say, but say safari rally, everybody knows about it. So we will get this thing back to us economically. Socially, the sports with the young people, they all know Babashiro and Safo, everybody knows about it. The young youth, they all want to get associated with it, and they will stop all the mess they're doing by having excess energy in not doing anything. At least for those 3 days, everybody will be engrossed to the rally, and we will have a peaceful evening and a few less people drunk. That's what I'm talking about. It brings back a lot of things that we will be proud of. And I'm telling you, if Ian Duncan or Azanwal or Carlton, one of our boys win it, yeah, Bashiro one day wins it, I'm telling you, this will be a carnival. Look at when Giro did wonders here, and the whole country erupted into celebrations. So what you're saying is that this is one thing to unite Kenyans, to bring money to this country, to bring patriotism in this country. It has so many benefits that it cannot be quitted by anything else that I know. That Kenyans themselves can bring to themselves without having anybody to assist for us.
Ben Muchemi, Event Director of the 2013 Safari Rally, thank you very much for coming.
Asante sana.